Good morning. Well, here's what we got. We got some guns going to Texas. These perforating guns. I just put some rubber under there so the strap can actually grab onto the middle pipe so they don't slide, as I don't have a front bulkhead or a headache rack. So not gonna lie, a little depressing to come out here and deal with this stuff. Look at the snow coming down. I know if I drive a couple hours it'll be all done, but man, I tell you what, just had enough. I just finished going through this stuff last week. Well, we're heading down to Texas, so this won't last long. Took a week off. I got some stuff done on the truck. I booked the week off, had it booked off anyway, just for my anniversary. 24 years. 24 years she stuck out with this guy. I tell you what, she's a trooper. She is a trooper. So when I was down, I went and got some stuff done on the truck. But yeah, here's the guns to Texas. Just show you that. A little bit smaller load than we had before. It's only about 32,000 pounds. I couldn't find anything else to go on it, so we're just gonna run with it. Yeah, I'll explain what I got done on the truck and maybe show you the bills and all, and show you why it's not very cost effective to go home. Good morning. Welcome to another day. Another day in the life of a trucking golfer. A guy who trucks but wishes he was golfing. Anyway, as you can see, we are in the snow again here in Montana. I've about had enough, man. About had enough. This has to be it. This has to be the last gasp. Mother Nature's got to be tired of it as well. It's got to be a lot of work for her to poop out all this snow all the time, you know. It's got to be a lot of work for her. It's got to be more than easy for her to just kind of go, here you go, Mr. Sun, take over. You take over. I'm taking a couple months off. Anyway, like I said, like I showed you, we got some guns going to Houston. We call them perforating pipe when we're crossing the border, just so everybody knows. Do not ever say, when you go to the border and they say, what are you hauling? Got guns going to Houston. Nope, don't ever say that. That's never a good thing. Never a good thing. We're not going to Houston, we're going to Godley, Texas. It's about 45 minutes west of Fort Worth, somewhere in there. Anyway, so I had a week off, took a week off. Like I said, it was my anniversary, so you know, I've missed quite a few before. I usually don't miss the anniversary. I miss birthdays here and there, but when you're getting up here in the 20s for anniversary years, you gotta start making some of them, right? So we usually go on big trips every 5 years, so next year we'll be trying to do a trip. Anyway, I don't normally try to book time off for truck work. Try to get it done anytime I have days off. I really that's why I try to schedule my days off during the week, so that there's always mechanic or parts available during the week instead of on the weekends, right? It's tough to find, especially where I'm from. Like, we got a town of, you know, we got to be close to 120,000 people, but Saturday and Sunday it's tough sledding to find anybody that's working, right? There's the odd dealership working on a Saturday, but nobody like in the like the parts world or the trucking world or anything like that, is open Sunday. There's just nobody. So sorry if I'm distracted. Just all this snow. There's people falling all over the place. It's looking pretty slick out here now. So I got, my time is up. Time to go. Well, we'll put on our belly strap so we don't fall out of the truck. Make sure she's nice and tight. And let's get going while I chat. Low outside air temperature. Well, thank you very much for that. Can you believe it? That's what it was saying. It's beeping at me, and all of a sudden on the dash it says low outside air temperature. Alright. I don't need no artificial intelligence in the truck. Okay? So, I've been having some trouble with the truck. I just always kept forgetting to tell everybody. I've had a leak underneath it. I'm gonna say at least 6 months now. So I had a PTO, a power takeoff, with a oil cooler unit, because this unit we used to haul tankers, right? So I had a pump on here, pump the oil, and also I could run propane trailers, LPG trailers. So we had hydraulics on the back, so I had a power takeoff, PTO underneath. And when I said enough with all that tanker work, I moved out here full time into this flat decking world. I left it on because everything just kind of happened like that. Got to get going, got work to do. And it was doing fine until I started going south here. And then I started noticing a leak underneath, you know, just like some, it started off small, a little bit of oil underneath. And when it's blowing up underneath, it's really tough to kind of see where it's coming from. So when I was under there, crawling under there, feeling it, touching it, tasting it, I thought it was hydraulic oil. So on one of my days off about 6 months ago, I tried to only take 34 off when I'm at home. So on my 34 off, I had arranged for my mechanic there to pull off the PTO. I think I'm leaking there. I might have a seal gone. Let's get it off of there, and yeah, let's see what it is. So that's how, just like a doctor at the doctor's office. Well, let's try this pill, see how it works, and if that doesn't work, well, let's try this physio. If that doesn't work, let's try this. Same with trucking. Okay, well, that didn't work. Unfortunately, with trucking, it costs so darn much to figure this stuff out. So we took off the PTO, washed everything underneath. You know, go for another couple of weeks, about a month, I was okay. And then started noticing it again. Like, what the hell? So then I'm like, okay. Well, now I can, you know, you wash it and you take a look, and then you're like, okay, well, let's just see where it goes again, right? You got to watch it for a couple months just to see if you can pinpoint where it's coming from. So then I crawling underneath, and I'm like, you know, I think that's coming out of the inspection plate on the transmission. But then I'm like, well, it's starting to look like it's also coming around the bell housing of the transmission, and maybe on the back of the engine. And I'm like, oh man, what the hell is it? Well, in typical trucker fashion, nothing seemed to be going wrong, so I just sprayed it all off, made sure all the fluids were topped up, kept going. We got money to make, man. There's no sense Because if you're going to put it down, it's going to be, you know what's going to happen, right? You're going to find stuff, constantly find more and more and more. And yeah, I just wanted to keep going. When the phone's ringing, you don't want to stop. Because one day the phones won't ring and you'll have to do the calling. So, at the time, at this particular time, you know, we're pretty busy, right? So long story to make longer, it still started seeping out of there, and then a week before, I had this time booked off, the clutch started feeling weird. I'd push it into the ground, and I still got a clutch, still got an 18-speed manual. I'd push it into the floor, and sometimes it would start bouncing like that on your foot. I don't know, never had that happen before. You know, in the last 10 years of my trucking life, I've had more things happen that I've never had happen before. It's been good. It's been a learning experience, but it's cost a lot of money. Anyway. And then, yeah, just something, you can tell something's off. Anybody that drives in their truck a long time, if you're in a particular truck for a long time, and if you're worth your salt, you can feel things that are different in your truck. Either it's an intuition thing, or you can just feel a different squeak, or a different vibration, or something feels off, right? And something felt off. So, call up my mechanic. Everybody's got their mechanic. I got a young fella, been using him for years. He's one of them guys that hated school, quit school at 14, and he was a journeyman by 18. So he's just one of them guys. He was taught by an old school guy, so he knows old cats and he knows all that, but he's also a high tech, so he knows techs and all that, all the new stuff too as well. So tough to find a new breed of mechanic who's been taught the old ways with the old vehicles, the old hydraulics, the old trucks, the old engines, but also knows all about the new stuff. So I booked it in with him. He pops it off. I'll show you the invoice at the end here. He pops it off, and there was no leak. We thought it might have been the rear structure, because he couldn't tell. I use synthetic oil now, so I can't tell. It doesn't get black like regular, you know, 1540 oil gets black, right? Synthetic, it doesn't get black like that stuff. So it's tough to tell. And then of course, if it's swirling down under there and it's getting dirty, you can't tell if it's transmission oil either. It really looked just like hydraulic oil. So he pulled it all apart. Rear structure's fine, the bell housing's fine, but it appears I had a leak where the through shaft went into the transmission. Some seal was had a rip in it, so that's where it was leaking out of, coming through the inspection plate and blowing everywhere. So it wasn't coming out enough so it'd leave a puddle. It was coming out enough to just kind of blow everywhere, and then over time, you know, it just kind of makes a mess, right? So, okay. So he ordered the gasket kit for that. But then, you know, I have about a year and a half, 2 years on this clutch. But it's one of those self-adjusting, I think they call it a solo clutch. Self-adjusting or an easy pedal or something. I think it's called solo. Terrible. The only reason I had one put in here 2 years ago is because it was still on warranty. So I had one fail. Took it to them. It was on warranty. They replaced it with the same one that came in it. Fine. And yeah, but it's just been a terrible clutch. Like it never adjusts right. You're always trying to jam it into gear. Like there's never really a clutch brake, it seems like. So I just said I just want a basic clutch, just your basic manual adjust clutch. So we put that in there. We buttoned it all up in 2 days and we were done. $4,600. So that includes the clutch, pulling it all out, and yeah, feels great. You can tell, you can definitely tell the difference, of course, new, but there was a problem with the old one. And there was bolts missing. Like, I had it redone by the dealership, so, you know, they obviously scored the chunk of metal or something got into that, you know, they didn't clean it off right, so it scored the gasket. They didn't put a bolt in like the speed sensor, so it was hanging there by one bolt. You know, there's 2 bolts that hold it in. Like, come on, man. Ugh. So then I've been fighting tires too. Steer tires. Getting some wear on the outside just of the passenger one. Now I've hit some pretty big craters coming down into the US. Canada, we're just frost heaves, so you're constantly bouncing up and down, and yeah, we got big potholes. Usually not on the highway, but you come down south here, and there'll be a crater that's like 4 feet by 4 feet, and I swear it's a foot deep. And if you don't catch it in time, you're bang! And you guys all know about it. Bang! It's just like you're running into something. Like it just... So I've hit a couple of those and I'm like, man, I've been meaning to get an alignment done. So on my week off, I was able to get an alignment done. I'll show you that as well. So that was another 623 bucks or something like that. We'll see if we can get a couple more months out of these tires, and then we'll have to put some new steers on. I'll probably put some new steers on when I put on my summer slicks. But the snow we keep getting, it's kind of dying off here now, but with the snow we keep getting, I might have to keep my winters on until the end of April. It's terrible. So anyway, that's the update. Taking some guns to Texas. No, these ones come with me everywhere. Perforating guns down to Texas, possibly loading at our terminal. I think it's kind of down in Fort Worth. It moved. It was in Irving, Dallas area. Now it's down in the Fort Worth area. Reloading there, reloading Houston, reloading Oklahoma City. Nobody knows. It's always a big mystery. So stay tuned. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We're trucking again. And best of luck to my uncle and my dad. They're hustling out to Buffalo, New York. Why, you say? That's what I say. No, it sounds like an awesome adventure. Uncle Boots. Look up Boots Transport Tarping Rig in YouTube. They invented this tarping rig. They sell it online. So they've sold one to a company in Buffalo, New York. Tough to find anybody to get it out there within reason for price wise, so they're gonna hang it out there themselves. It all breaks down. They can probably fit it in the back of a pickup truck, and they're gonna truck it out there. So best of luck to my dad and Uncle Boots. Hopefully you guys have a safe trip and enjoy it. And then they're gonna go up into Niagara Falls and see some family we have in that eastern part of the country there. So good luck to them. Look up Boots Transport Tarping Rig on YouTube, and we'll chat later. Bye for now.